Government secrecy and its impact on effective policy reform. Explore how government secrecy affects policy reform, public trust, and transparency issues, with insights into balancing confidentiality and openness. Why government secrecy matters for policy reform. Hey, I want to share some thoughts with you about something that's been on my mind a lot lately. Government secrecy, and what it means for making better policies. You know how sometimes it feels like there's this huge wall between what the public sees and what actually happens inside the government? Well, that wall is mostly built on government classified information and a culture of government confidentiality that just doesn't always serve us well. Let's start with the basics. Governments classify certain information to protect national security or sensitive operations. Makes sense, right? But then, there's a whole layer of government information secrecy that goes beyond what's necessary, and that's where the trouble begins. When government document secrecy becomes the norm rather than the exception, it creates a kind of fog that policymakers and the public alike have to navigate blindly. This fog has huge implications for policy reform. If the people who create laws and rules aren't fully aware of what's really happening, or if the info they need is locked away as government secret policies, they can't make informed decisions. It's kind of like trying to fix a car if you can't see under the hood. You might guess, you might try different things, but you'll never be as efficient or effective as you could be with all the facts. Now, I'm not saying all government secrecy is bad. Obviously, some things need to stay under wraps, especially when it comes to security and diplomacy. But the problem is when this secrecy spills into areas where transparency could actually improve outcomes. For example, if scientific research funded by the government gets buried, or if budget details aren't clear, it stifles accountability and invites mistrust. That mistrust isn't just theoretical either. When people feel like the government is hiding things, conspiracy theories tend to take root. And honestly, it's a cycle that feeds itself. A lack of government transparency issues breeds suspicion, and suspicion pressures governments to be even more secretive. It's a tough cycle to break. What's really interesting is that with today's technology and the demand for open data, there's a growing movement pushing against excessive government information secrecy. Advocates argue that more openness can lead to better policy outcomes, greater trust, and even more streamlined government operations by reducing redundant or hidden processes. Of course, balancing transparency with security is tricky. Think about it this way. If every government secret policy was public, adversaries could potentially exploit that info. But if nothing is accessible, citizens and lawmakers are left in the dark, and that hinders democratic engagement and effective oversight. One way to think about improving this balance is by reforming classification systems themselves, making them more precise about what truly needs protection. Another approach is strengthening whistleblower protections and ensuring that officials who want to shine a light on bad practices aren't punished. Opening up certain government archives after a proper amount of time has passed could also help rebuild trust. And speaking of secrets and government manipulation, have you heard of Hush, a psychological thriller of alien manipulation and deep state deceit? It's a fascinating book that spins a story around all these themes, the kinds of government secrecy and manipulation we just talked about, but with an intense fictional twist involving aliens and conspiracies. If you like stories that explore government cover-ups and secret agendas while keeping you on the edge of your seat, this is a perfect read. Check it out here. Buy now an ebook, print, or audio and get swept into a world where nothing is as it seems, and every secret matters. At the end of the day, government secrecy is a double-edged sword. Protecting national interest is essential, but so is ensuring citizens have enough insight into policies that impact their lives. Pushing for smart, thoughtful reforms to how government classified information is handled could strengthen democracy and deliver policies that actually work for everyone. So next time you hear someone talking about government secret policies or government document secrecy, you can think about how that affects more than just the headlines. It shapes the future of policy reform, public trust, and transparency in big ways.